Let me start with a question. If you had a chance to invest in a country that combines economic stability, global market access, rapidly growing industries, and a strong long term demand, would you take that opportunity? Because today, that opportunity already exists, and it's happening right now in Peru. When investors look for a new market, they normally ask three fundamental questions. Is the economy stable? Is the risk manageable? And most importantly, where will the next wave of growth come from? Peru answers all those three questions. But first, let's talk about economic stability, because serious investors don't invest in uncertainty. According to the International Monetary Fund, Peru maintains one of the most stable macroeconomic environments in Latin America, with a projected GDP growth of around 2.7% and an inflation controlled at only 1.9%. Why is that important? Because low inflation and steady growth create predictability, and that's what you investors need to make a long term decision. But stability is not only about growth rates. Peru has also built a strong financial safety net. The country holds approximately $2.4 billion dollars in special drawing rights reserves, which gives it the ability to respond to economic shocks and maintain financial balance. And the economic financial community recognizes this strength. At the same time, Peru's public debt remains relatively low, around 32 to 33% of the GDP, which is significantly healthier compared to many countries in the region. And even the currency reflects stability. The Peruvian sol is considered one of the most stable currencies in Latin America, trading around 3.76 soles per US dollar, which reduces exchange rate volatility for international investors. Now, here's where things become even more interesting. Peru is not only stable, it is globally connected. The country has built an economic policy and signed numerous free trade agreements and bilateral investment treaties with countries across America, Europe, and Asia. What does that mean for investors? It means that when companies establish operations in Peru, they gain direct access to global markets with reduced trade barriers. In other words, investing in Peru is not just investing in a domestic market, it's investing in a strategic export platform connected to a global economy. But now, let's move to what investors care the most about. What are the real opportunities? One of the fastest growing sectors in Peru today is technology and digital services. As internet access expands and digital entrepreneurship grows, Peru is developing a strong ecosystem for fintech companies, startups, outsourcing services, and data structure. For indirect investment in knowledge intensive services has already generated more than $402 million dollars and over 600,000 jobs, demonstrating strong growth in the country's digital economy. And infrastructure is already being built to support this growth. Peru has developed a national fiber network connecting most regional capitals, which enables cloud computing, digital platforms, and data centers development across the country. For multinational investors, this opens opportunities in fintech, software development, global service centers, and digital infrastructure. But technology is not only the beginning. Another major opportunity lies in manufacturing and industrial production. Peru offers competitive labor costs, access to raw materials, and strong export industries, especially in sectors like food processing, textiles, and industrial manufacturing. This allows companies to produce goods efficiently while leveraging Peru's international trade agreements to reach global markets. And the combination of low production costs and global export access is exactly what multinational companies look when expanding their operations. But now, let's talk about one of Peru's most recognizable industries, which is tourism and services. Peru is one of the most famous tourist destinations in the world, from Machu Picchu, one of the seven wonders of the world, to the Amazon rainforest, and one of the most recognized gastronomies globally. The country continues to attract millions of visitors every year. This creates strong investment opportunities in hospitality, transportation services, tourism, infrastructure, and digital travel platforms. As global tourism continues to recover and expand, Peru's cultural heritage and natural attractions generally generate long-term demand for services in this sector. And finally, we arrive at one of Peru's most powerful economies engine, agriculture and agribusiness. This one's really special. Over the last 2 decades, Peru has become one of the world's largest, fastest growing agricultural exporters. Agricultural exports have increased from $645 million in 2000 to more than $10.5 billion in 2023. That's not just growth, that is transformation. Peru is now globally competitive in high value crops such as avocados, blueberries, grapes, coffee, and cacao. Something to take into account, very important. The government is also investing heavily in irrigation systems and agricultural infrastructure, expanding the country's capacity to supply global markets. For investors, this means opportunities in large scale agribusiness, food processing and export logistics, sustainable agriculture technologies, and global food supply chains. So when we look at the complete picture, Peru offers something rare, a country that combines macroeconomic stability, strong legal protection for investors, which is really important, access to international trade networks, competitive production costs, and rapidly expanding industries. Investors' opportunities like this do not happen every day. And the companies that succeed globally are usually the ones that invest before opportunity comes obvious. So the question that I ask you today is, are you ready to invest in one of the most promising growth hubs in Latin America? Because Peru is not just a country with potential, it is a country already building the future in investment in the region. And the investors who recognize that today will be the ones leading tomorrow. Thank you.